Hello and welcome to Someday Models. My name is Tom and I have a large stack of second-hand vintage model kits sitting around in my cupboard that I have big plans to absolutely, certainly, definitely, totally gonna build someday. Now we will be having an out-of-the-box look at this model kit. Would you like to see the build video? Subscribe to make sure you do. The build will happen someday. Today, however, we will be taking a look at this vintage L.F.G. Roland C-II 1916 Special Edition in 1:72 scale. This version of the kit was released in 1987, while the tool is originally from 1966, almost 60 years ago. For some reason, Airfix pretty consistently writes the name of the aircraft as C-11, using a double of the numeral 1 instead of the capital I, which I think is the correct way of writing it. Does anybody know if this simply is an error on the part of Airfix, or does this follow some writing convention on Roman numerals I am not aware of? I mean, I'm pretty certain that it's supposed to be C-II, not C-11. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong, and it is supposed to be read C-II even though it clearly is written as C-11. But in that case, I would say bollocks to a writing convention that is so easy to misunderstand. No wonder nobody else seems to be writing it that way. The decals are for one of the planes flown by the German ace Edward Maria Joseph Ritter von Schleich during 1916. Ritter von Schleich ended the First World War with 35 victories, and he was a general of the Luftwaffe in the Second World War. The instruction sheet actually has quite a lot of history, as follows. The Roland C-11, which should be Roland C-II. The L.F.G. company, Luftfahrzeuggesellschaft, started production of the Roland in October 1915 to provide the German Air Force with a reconnaissance plane, though eventually it became used as a two-seater fighter. Its design greatly influenced the trend of many future German aircraft. One distinctive characteristic of the Roland C-II is that the upper wing is attached to the upper fuselage to give a good field of fire for the observer, who was equipped with a parabellum gun. Later models also had a fixed forward-firing Spandau gun. The unusual shape of the Roland earned it the nickname Walfisch, whale. The British ace Albert Ball described the Roland in the summer of 1916 as the best German machine now. Her guns fire backwards and forwards and everywhere except below. Edward von Schleich, the Black Knight, flew the Roland C-II as well as many other German types, including the Albatros DV, during his flying career. Edward von Schleich. Although von Schleich was an experienced wartime pilot, it was not until he was given command of Jasta 21 that his career as a fighter pilot really developed. He reshaped Jasta 21, which he said had lacked fighting spirit, into a strong and effective fighter unit. In September 1917, Jasta 21 shot down 41 Allied aircraft, 17 of which fell to the guns of Edward von Schleich. He gained a total of 27 victories before moving on to command Jasta 32. In December 1917, von Schleich was awarded the Pour le Mérite. In March 1918, he was appointed chief of the newly formed Jagdgruppe 8, which eventually moved to Epinoy. While flying from Epinoy, he gained a spectacular success. Flying alone, he saw 6 Sopwith camels flying over Ochonviller and made a carefully planned surprise attack on them. Within 5 minutes, he had shot down 3 of the 6 camels. Shortly after this success, he was promoted to Hauptmann and a month later received the Military Max Joseph Order, an honor which brought with it ranking of nobility, becoming Edward Ritter von Schleich. He survived the First World War with a total of 35 victories. As I understand it, the German Ritter von is equivalent to the British Sir, denoting that the man has been knighted. So there we have it, the contents of a vintage L.F.G. Roland C-II 1916 in 1:72 scale. This is the last version of this kit made by Airfix and was released in 1987. However, the same tool has been used by Hella for a single released in 1996. It is currently discontinued. One of the downsides of buying vintage kits second-hand is that there sometimes are missing parts. Here are two examples of this. Luckily, they are smaller parts that I think I should be able to make replacements for when I get around to building it. Someday. Here's the next kit to feature in an out-of-the-box video. Subscribe and ding the bell if you would like to see it. Comment below if you have any requests for a particular aircraft. You never know, I might just have it.